And I think that adds an interesting strategic element to the 2v2. So when you have these supers like Heihachis or Parappas that just fill up the whole screen and kill everybody, you know, what they can do on that team is one person, you know, whether it be Heihachi or Parappa, saves up 4 level 3 while the other person just fights it out. And the minute that the other team does a level 1 or a level 2, you know, they could just hit R2 and counter it right away. So it definitely adds another element of strategy to the 2v2.
Thank you.
Hi. Today was like my first day playing the game. Played Smash a lot, you know, a bunch of fighting games. The thing that kind of turned me off of it was the supers. You know, why'd you base it off of that? It's pretty much the whole game, in my opinion. I'm just playing it for the first 10 minutes. And, you know, it takes away the aspect of dodging, getting hit, you know, carrying, and, you know, turns some people off. So why'd you guys gotta do that?
So, PlayStation All-Stars is its own game. I think that's really the only way I can answer that. I understand that Smash players will, some Smash players, because not all Smash players do this, but some Smash players will sort of base how successful, you know, PlayStation All-Stars as a game is on how accurately it recreates the Smash Brothers experience. But that's not really our goal. Our goal is to create a unique combat experience for PlayStation All-Stars that we fully admit borrows from many different kinds of games, including Smash. But it is not, our goal is not to solely replicate the Smash Brothers experience. I think based on 10 minutes, you know, maybe if you played it 10 more minutes, you'd have a different appreciation for the game. But yeah, I just really would ask that, you know, players like you just approach it with an open mind. I'd love to, you know, if you want to pull me aside and we can go over together to the booth and I can show you just what a folly it is to think that supers are the only thing that matters in our video game.
No. I was just asking why you just try to make your own genre, pretty much, right? You
well,
know,
our own game within a genre, right?
Yeah,
like,
you're trying to make your own, like, you know, niche. You're trying to just punch in there. There's no game like that, really.
Yeah, it's just, I think we love the fighting game genre, right?
Yeah.
And I think if you look at the history of fighting games, even if you go back to, like, you know, Street Fighter II and Mortal Kombat, like, those two games were fundamentally very, very different, just on a very basic level. If you think about, like, the concept of cross-ups, the concept of cross-ups don't even exist in Mortal Kombat because you have a block button, right? You can't be tricked into blocking the wrong way because there's no wrong way to block. And that fundamentally created a very different experience between those two games, but it didn't mean that one was any less than the other. Like, it just meant they were approaching their gameplay from very different perspectives, and I kind of think that's how I think about PlayStation All-Stars. We're trying to create something new and interesting because it adds to, you know, this great genre.
Well, thank you. I just thought I'd express that, man.
Sure, no problem. Thank you.
I have something a little bit to add. Smash, if you look at Smash, it breaks a lot of traditional fighting game mechanics.
Totally, yeah.
Especially with the life bar, which is kind of a core mechanic in fighting games. You know, they kind of turn it on its head.
Yeah.
And that's something I think, you know, as someone that's played fighting games for a very long time, that wasn't readily accepted by the fighting game community at the time. You know, like, they're like, well, I have my Street Fighter, I have my Tekken, I have my Virtua Fighter. You know, like, I don't really need to play Smash. It's got these weird mechanics that I don't understand. Yeah. But eventually, there's a community that came out of it when they played the game and, you know, they opened their mind, right? So, you know, in my head, you know, we're asking for the same open-mindedness that the Smash community had when they first started up, when it was so different from Tekken and you know, Street Fighter and all the other fighting games at the time.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
And last questions.
So, in a bit of regard to, like, the character selection, like with like the different eras, are you trying to balance the cast? Like, well, this character was popular during the PS1 era and then the PS2 era and, like, the next gen. Like, are you trying to balance that out?
In terms of, like, we need equal ratio of characters from the PS1 and the PS2 and the PS3, I would say no. I think we're really just looking for, again, all the things I always mention. Could this character introduce something interesting into the PlayStation All-Stars experience? Is there a cool style of play that by having this character I can sort of introduce to my players? But also, yeah, is this character popular? Are people really looking to see this character in the game? Is this character, popular, but perhaps with a very small group of fans who are just really, really, really enthusiastic about this character? There's no one, I think, reason or one metric that we use when choosing to include a character in PlayStation All-Stars. We use a wide sort of range of different evaluators to come up with exactly who gets in. Yeah, it is not all our decision. Kratos. My choice is Kratos.
Do you have any other questions? Or?
Well, I know you're saying, like, it's possible to avoid supers and all. Is it possible to avoid, like, those full screen, like, Parappa's, like, rat thing? Can you, like, if you dodge right when he activates it, can you somehow avoid it?
That particular super, no.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Yeah.
So when it comes to those particular level 3 supers, really, you paid the cost up front. I mean, it's not that, oh, I have a level 3, now I have to find a way to use it. It's you spent the entire match playing a very difficult game, trying to get to a singular goal, and you already paid the cost. Now, on the other side of that, you have a player who's using level 1s and level 2s, taking you basically off of the level for a couple seconds every time he kills you and doing all kinds of things to impede your progress. So when you get that level 3, you use it properly, you get a couple kills off of it, really, it works very well within our economy. So I know it seems strange from, coming at it from like a traditional fighting game standpoint, but if you give the game a chance and like kind of get used to the internal mechanics of it, personally, it makes perfect sense to me.
And I think one of the other things with the level 3s, like Parappa's, is the first time someone uses it against you, you're like, oh, he just gets to press that button and I have to die. But that doesn't seem like you have any choice in that decision. There's no decision to be made at that point. But you made a bunch of wrong decisions throughout the course of the match that led to that, right? And so that's one of the things that the more you play the game, the more you understand that. And that's when the singular hits start to matter more and you start to understand that it's like, oh, every time Parappa's hit me, he's getting closer to that moment to where I'm not going to be able to do anything about it. So I need to make sure I do something about it now while I still have a chance and I still have, the tools at my disposal.
Yeah, in addition to that, the way that super is balanced is you have this Parappa level 3 and it kills everyone on screen, gives them a bunch of points. But then you have other characters like Big Daddy where his level 3, it's not guaranteed, but at the same time, he can score more than 3 kills. He kills everyone, and if he starts the super in a really good position and really plans out his attack, the characters will respawn, and they'll have a small chance to net more than 3 kills. Whereas Parappa's, it's just hard, like just 3 kills, and that's it.
Okay, I was just curious. I like wrapping everybody to death at the same time. I was just wondering if you could avoid it or not.
Thank you. So we're almost coming to a close. I just wanted to get some final words from our panelists here, if you guys have any final thoughts.
I just want to say thanks for coming to our panel, and please make sure you stop by and check the game out if you haven't done so already. Please feel free to grab one of us, except maybe Clock, because he's got some stuff to do this afternoon. And we'll be more than happy to talk to you about the ins and outs, various systems, if there was anything that we didn't get to today. Stay tuned. Next week, we've got San Diego Comic-Con. We'll be announcing a couple more characters and maybe a few more surprises, but we'll also have a panel there as well. And yeah, just again, please approach it with an open mind. I think we brought it to this crowd, the Evolution crowd, very specifically because we're from you. Everyone on this stage is a fighting game player and has been a fighting game player for a very long time. And we respect your opinions, and we're very excited to share this game with you guys. Thank you.